Okay. Um, please hope. Boarding is in progress. Oh, I was hoping this would say it the other way. Maybe I'll edit it and mirror the video. My hoodie says it's a Reyes thing.
Oh,
You wouldn't
oh,
understand. It's my last name,
so
Reyes.
so it's showing up the wrong way.
No, it's all good. It's all good, man. Hey, season four continues. I am Carlos, otherwise known as Los, your host here for Los's Lounge podcast. This episode has been in the talks, I guess, for a while now, and it's finally come to fruition, and the timing couldn't have been better. We were just talking about this off air, but let's get right into it. Los's Lounge Podcast, Season 4. We welcome our incredible guest, Mark Jenkins. Let me just tell you about Mark really quick, and I'm going to read this off. I'm kind of cheating off of his own website, and we're going to get into that in 1 second. Mark
Wow.
Jenkins, president and founder of Neighborhood Guidance, located in Springfield, Massachusetts. Mr. Jenkins, a licensed independent clinical social worker in the state of Massachusetts with a combination of a bachelor's and a master's in social work from Westfield State University. Word, much respect for that. His years of experience resonate through his work spanning critical areas such as mental health, substance abuse, integrated healthcare, and education. This foundation equips him with a unique perspective, making him a trusted advocate for those navigating challenging life terrains. All right. I met Mark. Mark, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, last year in
Uh,
the summer. Yep.
yeah, damn, man, time flies, bro.
So it does.
I met Mark through work last year, and I was blown away. He's articulate, highly intelligent. He was passionate with the work that he was doing with a lot of the youth around here. Working with youth that particular time was what, ages 14 to 21?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Yeah, we probably had like
Kind
four.
of like that, yeah. And just really helping them engage in conversation around social emotional learning and mental health and what healthy relationships look like. What are the do's? What are the don'ts? And I don't know. I was just blown away by you, man. I was really impressed by you.
Appreciate it.
You're very respectable. So I just felt like you would be great. I knew you would be great for this. One of the things that we talk about on the show, and maybe we haven't in a while, I'll have to admit, is the mental health umbrella and everything that comes around or comes under that. But I thought you would be great to just really, really just get us back in gear with those conversations. First and foremost, Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club, it's not said once, it's not asking people, how are you doing? But how did you sleep last night, Mr. Jenkins?
How did I sleep? I slept okay, man. I slept all right. I got a little routine. I need to kind of break habit of where I go in bed, but I'm on my phone for like 45 minutes while I'm in bed. All
Oh
right.
man, we're
In
definitely
my
gonna get
head, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm in the bed at 9:30, but I'm not even
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
sleep till after 10:15. You know what I mean? 10:30 sometimes.
yeah. What you doing? Scrolling?
Scrolling, scrolling. I had a little it's horrible timing, but I had a little mishap. So my Facebook page was compromised, and some hackers IG account was attached to my page and pretty much got
Oh,
my Facebook page disabled. And I put a lot of work in on that page, man. Not necessarily
oh,
just the personal page, but my business page is associated with it. So Neighborhood Guidance NG Sports had a decent following. So I literally before we met today, I just kind of created a new Facebook a few days ago, and I literally just wrote for the first time, just letting people know because I'm running into people and they like, "What happened, man? You blocked me?" Nah.
yeah, yeah. Damn it, man. Damn it. The trials and the tribulations of social media. I'm not on Facebook. I try to keep it down to just Instagram just because social media can be so overwhelming and there's different apps and it's a lot, man. But
Pray
glad
for
to
me.
have you here. I wanna start here. Okay, so what inspired you to go down this route? What inspired you to take this career path and really begin neighborhood guidance? Can we start there?
So originally, I knew I wanted to go to school for social work. And it took me a few different stints to go to college before I actually got it. Before I actually said, this is it. But when I went, I knew I wanted to go for social work. I knew I wanted to get my master's. I knew I wanted to be independently licensed, just so I can operate on my own or how I want to, how I see mental health. Um, but I kind of geared neighborhood guidance to be a private practice that specializes in student athlete mental health. Not limited to student athletes, but specializing in student athletes. And I came about that pretty much just, being somebody who grew up playing sports, understanding the environmental factors more than the mental health factors that play a huge role um, in your success, whether
Yeah,
eating those barriers or challenges you got to push through, or just building that resilience, right? And I'm somebody I say experience both, right? Because I look at myself as somebody who is extremely resilient based off of my upbringing and what I experienced, but I also went through um, points in time in my life where there were some challenges, and it pulled me in this direction. Being somebody who loves sports and
yeah, yeah.
to this day love sports, I got away from it at one point in time. So pretty much that's where neighborhood guidance started, is just being a mental health private practice. But as I moved along in my career, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something that specializes in student athletes. Again, not limited to student athletes, but specializes in student athlete on mental health support.
What sports do you play, by the way?
So I played football. I like how you said still play, because I do still actively,
Yeah,
dabble in
you know.
football. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still
Yeah,
do dabble, you know, 1 or 2 seasons out the year. I probably play a little flag football, but I was a football guy. But growing up, of course, it was basketball and football. Yeah.
bet. So when you were coming out of school and what have you, and I know also you have and please forgive me, and my thought process jumps around here. You're a father as well too. I think you correct me because I pay attention.
Yep, yep,
Was it
yep.
4, 5 children?
5 boys, 1 girl, so 6.
5 boys, 1 girl. Okay. So you've got your tribe there, right? And so how important is it to be like, right, that role model, or just to open that door of communication for them, right? To see what can be. You're leading by example. How important is that for you?
It's extremely important. And like you said, leading by example, showing them who I am as a person, showing them who I am as, you know, a soon to be husband. I'll be married in about a little less than a month. I mean, no, I'm sorry, a
Hey!
little over a month. So
Okay.
showing them how to be. I'm just gonna speak it into existence now. Showing them how to be a husband. Um, Showing them how to be a father. A leader, role
Yeah.
model. And then most importantly, not probably not most importantly, just as importantly, showing them who I am in the community. Because
Yeah.
when we step outside, people gonna know me. They're gonna dap me up. They're gonna talk to me. They're gonna talk to them. They're gonna know them because of me. And again,
Yeah.
I coach youth football in the community, so it's extremely important. And we even find ourselves having conversations around some of the topics I might cover professionally. Like we have because we're such busy people, we have our weekly family dinners, right? Kids eat more than once a week, but we have our weekly family dinners where we're all eating together, all electronics off to the side,
Yeah.
and there's a theme, you know what I mean? And just being who we are, sometimes our themes might spill over here or spill over there, but we're always educating, we're always teaching. Um, Even just I believe it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, where I'm even telling them what my license means and what I do with it. These are conversations that I feel are extremely important, and as parents, we don't think to have, because we know, listen, we putting food on the table. We got a roof over your head. We tell you to do this. We tell you don't do that. Just follow my lead. But they're young people. They're sponges, and we all know that. So just explaining things to them sometime, I think it's extremely important, because they don't forget it, and they'll say it back to you, and they'll use examples like, hey, when we talked about this day, I pretty much I role modeled this in school based off of what we talked about one day.
Mm,
Talk about fire
mm.
safety. We talk about all types of things when we're at that table together. So I feel like it's extremely important.
Your children's age ranges?
So my youngest, which is the only girl, uh, she's 4, and the oldest is 14. And I have a blended family too, just to throw that out.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. So when you were growing up, I'm assuming you have siblings as well. Do you come from a big family?
I don't come from a big family. I did have one younger brother. We night and day, completely different.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
socially, like we weren't out there doing things together. I got like 7 years on him.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we grew
Okay.
up in the same house, but like outside of the house, we didn't grow up together. You know what I mean?
I understand. I understand. And you were always in this area, right? The Western
Yes,
Massachusetts
yes,
area.
yes, yes. I'm not, listen, I'm still in the same zip code, man. So
Listen, I'm still out here too, man. Home is home. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, let's get into your title. So, licensed independent clinical social worker. Talk to me a little bit about what you do and what that means.
so basically by profession or education or trade, whatever you want to call it. I am a social worker. So a licensed independent clinical social worker is like the highest level social work licensure. So pretty much it allows me to operate on my own by having my own private practice, by being a supervisor, um, for, up and coming social workers, whether that's at the master's level or, the bachelor's level. Um, so you start off with this licensure, you don't have to have a bachelor's in social work, but I did, but you do have to have a master's in social work in order to get this licensure. Um, After having a master's, you can apply, like immediately after having a master's, you can apply for LCSW, which is a licensed certified social worker. That was my title when we met in the summer. So
Gotcha.
I just became a licensed independent clinical social worker. Um, Last year, the end of last year, December of last year, pretty much. It was pretty much,
Gotcha.
it was approved at the beginning of this year. So,
Right, 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 right,
yeah, it
right.
just allows me to operate on my own, to have my own private practice. If there were upcoming social workers that needed a supervisor, I can charge services to be, to provide supervision for them. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
again, it's something that when I went to school, initially it's what I wanted to do. So, it's another box I got to check off.
Got you, got you. One of the most important things that I heard and that I caught, or that was being spoken about back in the summer was what do what does a healthy relationship look like? And it brought me to an in-service meeting or a training that we had here at Square One that focused on that because
Mhm.
we felt like growing up, for example, boys were always taught to use a condom, protect yourself,
Mhm.
treat a lady right. Girls, protect yourselves and whatnot. Carry yourself a certain way. But when you get into an actual relationship, no one really tells you or outlines for you what's the pros and cons, what to do, what not to do, what a healthy relationship looks like. Now, you might have that demonstrated by your parents. Our parents lead by
Right.
example. And if you come from a solid home, then God bless you if you're being the sponge and taking notes. But a lot of us don't. I'm fortunate where my parents are still married. Um, but no one really sat me down and told me, this is what a healthy relationship, this is what partnership looks like. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of teaching that, and kind of
Oh,
go
yeah,
from there?
absolutely. So yeah, it's again like you said, some people aren't fortunate enough to be raised in a household where they get to see that. But number one thing is role modeling it. So, speaking for my kids, like they get to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like they get to be in the same household with it, so they understand what it looks like. But having those conversations with, like, let's just say the general population or just, children in general, um, yeah, I think we should really outline what it looks like by using words, by literally explaining it to them. So, just that communication piece, right? Being able to communicate with somebody effectively,
Yeah,
trust, loyalty. Those are things people think of originally. Just, hey, trust, loyalty, somebody that's nice, somebody that's not mean. You'll hear kids say things like that. But I even like to go a little further and be like, what do you look for in a friend? Like, in somebody you want to have a relationship with. And a lot of times you might hear somebody say something like somebody that's funny and has humor, somebody who likes the things I like. A lot of times I notice it happens a lot with the younger females. Um, they'll have friends and they'll say, "Oh yeah, my friend was hating on me, or they was jealous because this, and that." Like that's something you need to kind of step back and look at. Like that's not necessarily a healthy relationship if somebody's always um talking about what you have or talking about it in a way where it's like, hey, it sounds like they kind of hating, right? Um,
yeah,
So, just noticing things like that. And another thing I think that we don't talk about enough, and I would say this is more scaled to younger men, is that dependency. Um, we know a lot of times, young men become, they get in these relationships and, they need the female for the car. They need it for a house. They need somebody to cook for them. They need
Yeah.
these things and they don't really think about that being unhealthy. Like,
Right. Right.
and a lot of times, not to knock anybody's upbringing, but like you said, going back to, being raised and it being role model for us, a lot of times it's because how they were raised, right? Like they're not being taught to be independent. Like, we have kids who aren't being taught how to drive, not being taught how to cook, not being taught how to go do things on their own. So again, it starts at home. But again, going back to what you were saying, everybody doesn't role model that. Everybody doesn't possess the skills or even the cognizance to say, hey, I need to teach my kids this. So we need more programming and more adults that explain what healthy relationships look like, those characteristics, those attributes. Um, like the one thing I like to do, I don't remember if we did it when we had that workshop, but I like when kids role model. We probably did. I think I always have them do some kind of role model, like in a small group. They probably
In
didn't
the
do
small groups when we
in a
broke
small
out,
group.
yeah, we did a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Role model,
Yeah, because
because
I remember you had the cards as well too. I'm sorry, I don't mean
yep,
to cut
yep,
you off.
yep, you're good. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. So yeah, just role model it. The reason why I like the role modeling is because it's something I had to do going through school. And you don't notice how powerful role modeling is until you do it. Like saying things out loud is a lot different than thinking them. Right?
Mm,
You say it out loud, you're like, dang, I really just said that. And it came off like that. Or even when you're hearing something, you're like, I'm way more receptive to that in this situation than I would have thought I would be. So I think role modeling is great. I love to make the kids role model things out.
yeah.
Even doing like groups with men. I do nurture and father groups as well. And having them role model it. And, at first feels a little funny, but I just had a group a couple weeks ago, and the fellas was like, "Nah, we needed to do that." Like, so it's just like role modeling
Yeah.
is so like role modeling naturally, like as parents is great. But even when we do these groups, whether it's in schools, whether it's in programs, I feel like having the kids role model it is very important. Like, show me what a healthy relationship looks like.
Yeah.
Since you know one looks like, show me. Talk to
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
about what a healthy relationship looks like. Even when you two aren't on the same page, show me what a healthy relationship will look like when you're not on the same page. Because sometimes you get kids that joke around and say, "Oh, I would have did this, I would have did that." Like, we let them joke, let them have their moment, but I talk to them after and be like, would that really be a good response? Good response, I'm sorry. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
it gives them time to think about it because naturally that's just who they're programmed to be. But we have to do the hard wiring.
Yeah, man. I feel like as well too, and it's not just children too. I feel like right now we're in an era of we're in an era of absurdity in this world, but we're also in an era of people not having conflict resolution skills anymore. The idea of just being able to just sit down and just talk, listen intently. Damn it, if you don't agree, you don't have to disrespect, you don't have to
Right.
talk
Right.
over each other. We don't have to fight, but we can agree to disagree. But those basic conflict resolution skills, a lot of people, in my opinion, are lacking. And I also feel like that's due to this. It's easy to get
Absolutely.
behind this,
Oh,
talk
absolutely.
all that shit, and nothing gets done.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we're in a decline with that. Do you see conflict resolution skills being on the decline in the work that you're doing? Or do you feel like I don't know. Do you feel like we're on the up and up on that?
Oh no. Clearly on the decline. And because you said it, you pulled out the phone, you showed it. Um, you'll hear a lot of times, and I talk about kids a lot. Yes, this trickles into adulthood because if you're not given the skills when you're a kid, right, you're gonna grow up to be that same person times 10, because now you're even more independent, now you're bigger, now you're stronger, and you're just
Yeah.
more stuck in that habit. I've been doing this for 20 years opposed to doing it for the past 3 years, you know what I mean? So I talk about kids because it's taking more preventative measures. Like I feel like that's where it starts. We
Yeah,
should start with the
that's it.
kids. But the conflict resolution on a decline, absolutely, because you would hear a lot of children say, "Oh, when somebody says something to me I don't like, I block them." They can't even talk it out. They literally will just block you. They will block you.
Yeah,
Kids will
yeah,
have their phones on do not disturb. Listen, I be
that's
going
true.
on my own kids like, I don't know if there's a
True.
setting where you could put it on do not disturb for everybody else, but don't have your phone on no do not disturb when I call. There's no reason why I got to call 2 times to get through to you. Like, nah, we're not playing it. And I pay these bills. Like, we're not playing those games.
Right. That
You know
part.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's just like they can just easily shut off from the world because due to social media, well, electronics, because that's how they interact, right? Talk about it all the time. When we
yeah,
were kids, I literally had to go knock on doors
yeah.
to see if somebody's there. So not only do I got to look to see if you're there in person, I got to talk to your mother or your sister,
Yes.
brother, or your uncle, your grandmother, whoever answered the door.
Yep.
So we had to have social skills. They don't have to.
Yeah.
So they don't have conflict resolution. When we were kids, some of my closest friends, we fought. Like this, we fought. We fought and then we went and we chilled. And then we were closer after that. We didn't continue
Yeah.
to fight. If we
Yeah.
continued to fight, we just didn't get along. We ain't really friends. But we might have had a misunderstanding. You think you can get me. I think I can get you. We about to test it out and see. No matter the results, we have a different level of respect for one another now. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
These don't like, I'm not saying go out there and fight your friends, but that's something that we can do and just be with each other later on, like
Yeah.
for the rest of the
Yes.
week. Like we're good.
Yeah.
Conflict, but nah, they'll just literally block you. Like they can't take constructive criticism. Um, they overuse mental health terms. I love that mental health awareness is on the uprise, but they overuse it and they use it as like it's a crutch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I have anxiety or I have depression. They use it like a crutch. Um, and they say things to get attention they say concerning things to get attention when things don't go their way because of the lack of conflict resolution.
Mm. Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, I'm 43. I'll be 43 in May. I'm 42, but I mean, you're right. Back in the day, we had to work for our relationships. You had to pick up the phone and call somebody. You had to take a PVTA bus across town to
Right.
chill with someone, or let's meet up at uh at night school, night gym in Kennedy. You had to work for your relationships. You had to really, really work it out. And if something hit the fan, you just had to sit in that room with that person or
Yeah.
relative or whoever it was and just deal. And at
Yeah.
some point, yeah, we were going to talk about this, whether it was comfortable or not. But it's a whole different world, and we can see the effects of social media and electronics, better put, on
Oh
how
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
it's sad though. It's a sad thing, man.
It is. It is. It is. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like I love that, the world is advancing, of course, right? But it's like I wish there was still that original piece to social networking, not literally social media. Like go
Right,
outside,
right.
go to the park. Like we had to, like you said, there's a different level of trust that we built with one another for you to say, hey, I'm gonna be at this park around this time on this day. I
Right.
couldn't call you and be like, yo, you on the way? Nah. He said he gonna be there, so I'm going there, and there he is. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's different now. Like
Yeah.
it's so much different now.
I'm on neighborhoodguidance.com for our listeners, especially here in the Western Mass area. I do have a lot of listeners and viewers in the Western Mass area. Um, but check it out. Please go to his website, neighborhoodguidance.com. And what I'm reading right now are some of the quotes that are coming up. There was a really good empathy in action, impact for a lifetime. I might have got that wrong. It just changed. Um, I've learned new methods to keep calm. These lessons have been very helpful and useful by Sanja at Rise Academy. Empathy in action, impact for a lifetime. Let's get into that, man. What is embrace empathy, ignite potential? Can you speak more on that?
Oh yeah, so as people, that's what we need to do. Embrace empathy more, just be more empathic towards one another. Sometimes I feel like we can be cold towards one another, right? And just understanding what somebody's going through, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to act like we know exactly what they're going through, but at least try and put yourself in their shoes to see how they may be feeling. And if you don't know,
Yeah.
just ask the right questions, right?
Yeah.
Um, just to actually see like how you said, like how'd you sleep? Like that's a strong question. You know what I mean? Because based off that answer, you could be like, okay, maybe he's not talking as much because he did say that he had horrible sleep, right? So just
Yeah.
little things like that. And just inspiring people, man, to want to be better. That's like one of the most. That's like one of the most powerful and impactful things people can say to me when they say it to me, and I do hear it often, which means I'm doing the right thing. Is that they're inspired by what I'm doing, like seeing me do what I'm doing, coming from where I came from, being who I was at one point in time in my life, and making that transition to be, the father, future husband, the
Hey,
this, the coach that I am now. And hearing people say that to me, it means a lot. Like, especially people that knew me back then.
Costa Rica. You're
Yes.
getting married. That's where you're
Yeah,
getting married, right?
You
I
remember.
remember. I
You
told you I
remember.
paid attention, brother
Yeah,
Mark. I
yeah,
told
yeah,
you.
yeah,
It
yeah.
just
You
hit
remember.
me. I'm like, that's race at Costa Rica.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
on for Costa Rica?
Oh, yes, sir.
Woof.
Well, we leave in less than a month, but the day ain't until a month and 2 days. But
I'm happy for you,
a month,
man.
a month from now,
Congratulations.
we be out of here. We be on the beach. I'll be
Do it. Do
listen,
it.
listen. It's yeah, I appreciate it. It should be a good time. I
Oh, you're
know.
gonna have a great time. God bless you and your family. Talk about some of the other key points to our audience about social emotional learning. For instance, if I was a client of yours or what have you, where do we start that conversation off? What does that conversation start and look like?
So more so for most I'm sorry, for social emotional learning, there's like five key components that you pretty much go over for social emotional learning. Um, and those components will be, let me see if I remember them off the top. I haven't did a workshop in a minute. So self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, responsible decision making. And I think is time management one? I don't know. I might be making that one up. I don't know. It might be
All
one of
good.
them. But yeah, so those are like some of the things that you'll go over um for self-management. Did I say social awareness?
I
I
believe
think
so. I think
I think I said
I don't.
self. It's
You said
social. I
self-awareness,
said self-awareness. It's social awareness. Yeah, I
social
said
awareness.
self-awareness. It's social awareness. That's what it is. It ain't got nothing to do with time management. I don't know why I
Okay.
said that. But so those are like the five. Those are like the five components you pretty much go over
Okay.
in social emotional learning. And I feel like these are like more preventative skills. When I talk about social emotional learning, that's something I'm doing with children. Like I'm not going to bring an adult and say, "Hey, we're going to go over social emotional learning." There may be some deficits there,
Yeah.
but I'll take a more mature approach. I feel like the SEL stuff is more for our youth,
For
right?
our youth.
Taking more, those primary, that primary level of care, like preventative measures.
Planting the seed, really. Planting
Absolutely.
those seeds, and so you're also through neighborhood guidance, you also provide counseling, and I just want to read a little bit off here too, if that's okay with you.
Mhm.
Neighborhood guidance offers compassionate psychotherapy services tailored to individuals facing challenges such as anxiety, depression, trauma, and behavioral issues. Well, we do live in the United States of anxiety. So everyone out here has anxiety. As an experienced counselor, Mark is dedicated to creating a space for healing and for personal growth, helping clients navigate their emotional struggles and work towards a brighter future. I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I am a product of therapy as well too. And I got to say, just having somebody as in my adult life to just go to, and that's not, that's unbiased and
Yep.
just help me navigate. I mean, it could be a good day and I still have concerns and whatnot. One of the things that I really took away from it was tools. All right, my toolbox. Sharpen that toolbox. And when I'm feeling a certain type of way, I know I got to protect my anxiety, I got to protect my inner peace. And I feel like I have more tools now as an adult. Even though I'm sociable and I love being around people, sometimes I get social anxiety. Like I hate being in large crowds. Like I got to analyze the situation a little bit. But let's get into the benefits of psychotherapy. Can you talk about that?
But yeah, like you said though, like it's that safe place for you to process your emotions and even learn more about yourself. Like you said, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Having an unbiased professional, right, who's going to be non-judgmental, listen to you and help you guide you to your answers, right? I try
Mm,
my best not to give too much advice when I'm doing therapy because when I'm giving advice, if it shifts the power from you. If I'm giving advice and I say, hey, you should do X, Y, and Z, and you do it, it's like, oh, thank you. You don't have that power now. Like I told you to do it, right? So you got that from me. If I told you to do X, Y, and Z and it didn't work out, now who you blaming? Hey,
Yeah,
you told me to do this.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the therapeutic approach I use is more so just you guiding you to your answers. You have those answers, right? Now, let's say you say something that in my head, I'm like, that might not be the best response. We're gonna walk through and we're gonna talk about it, right? At the end of the day, if you feel like that's still the best response for you, then you convince yourself, then that's what it is for you. Then we're gonna do it. If it doesn't work out, we'll come right back and we'll reprocess it. So I just really feel like it's a place for you to again process how you're feeling, what you've been through, learn new skills, and a lot of times we react out of a very unconscious place. Like a lot of things happen to us in the past
yeah,
and we don't understand how it affects us and how it impacts us,
yeah,
especially people from Black and brown communities. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of trauma there that we don't know it is trauma. At times, it's not necessarily trauma, but it's still life challenging events that happen that shaped who we are, and we didn't really learn how to grow from those experiences.
yeah, yeah.
So, and
You know,
I'm somebody. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, no. By all means, finish your thought. No, no, go right
I was
ahead.
just gonna say I'm somebody who doesn't, I don't like to play on the mental health terms too much, right? Because again, though there's awareness around mental health now for our communities, I have seen it overused to the point where it's crippling us, right? Like every day, just because you don't want to go to work, don't make it a mental health day. Like
Yeah,
you don't want to go to work. There ain't nothing wrong with not wanting to go to work, but it don't gotta be a mental health day. Like,
yeah.
it devalues individuals who really are struggling with mental health and really might need a mental health day. Yeah.
Absolutely agree. It almost seems like some people have been, like you said this earlier, using that as a crutch, just or even just trying to feel. Some people like to play the victim card, bro. That's
That's
you
it.
know,
That's
that's
it.
it.
That's the one. That's
That's
the
just
one.
that's the
That's the
easiest
one.
card to pull out, and someone play a violin, and that's cool for about 30 seconds when you really need it. But
Yeah.
then get up, let's go. The other
Yeah.
side of the coin is, I was experienced, Mark. I'm going to share this with you. In 2021, for the first like 7 months, I was in a really low place, man. And my cousin said something to me. My cousin Lewis was like, "It's okay to be down 50% of your day, but what about the other 50% of your day? There's a whole nother side to the coin. When are you going to flip the coin?
Right.
Don't get stuck on heads when you still have tails over here, and tails has all these adventures and family outings, and it's like, get back to you. Don't
Yeah.
lose yourself." And that really made a big impact because I was playing that victim card with the sad violin that first half of 2021, to the point where like my own best friend dismissed me.
Mm.
Everybody's like, this is some bullshit. Excuse my language. Um, so it took me to go back to therapy and counseling. Thank God I had the same therapist, and just like sharpen those tools again and just get back to me like I'm tripping.
Yeah.
You know?
You look
Yeah.
back and you're like, yeah, nice. And it's absolutely true what your cousin said to you. I mean, because what does that do? What does that do for you? What does that do? You just sitting there, stop, like you feeling bad for yourself. Nobody else feeling bad for you. Walk right past you.
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
is that doing for you? And I try to take that approach. Once I start to build that rapport with
Yeah.
potential clients, once I build that rapport, because you can't be too aggressive with somebody off rip, you're gonna push them away. But getting
Right.
to know them, building that relationship, just familiarizing yourself with them, allowing yourself to get familiar with them as well, and just getting to the point where it's like, okay, this person trusts me enough. Like we've been having some conversations. Um, they've been opening up. So, you got to be real with them too, man. And I just
Absolutely.
love when somebody, walks through the door. I say door, but it's virtual right now. So I love when somebody walks through that virtual door, and they already show those skills. They already show those strengths, right? They have that self-awareness. They have that social awareness. They
Yeah.
know where they have deficits. They know where they need to grow. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we just need that reassurance. Like you don't
Yep.
have to go into therapy with a clinical diagnosis, right? Sometimes we just need that maintenance. We need that prevention
Yeah.
so we don't slip, right? Again,
Right. Right.
I think it's all about taking those preventative measures, right? Like I
Yeah.
know I'm going to face some challenges. I know I'm going to face some barriers. Like I don't need to be on my ass to see a therapist. Like nah, like I just want to maintain my well-being. And if I can learn some newer skills down the way, why not? Right? Because I don't know
Absolutely.
what life has in store for me. You don't know what's down the road for you. You don't know what you're gonna, what you're gonna face. I think a lot of
Absolutely.
some people wait too long. And let me correct myself. There's no such thing as too long. But some people may wait until they're in a certain point in their life. And some people think that a therapist is supposed to just reach down there and pull you out. Like, nah, I'm gonna put my hand out there, but you gotta do a little bit of climbing. You know what I mean? Like it's just not, hey, I seen a therapist, snap my fingers, I'm healed. Like,
Yeah.
no.
No, you got to do the work. And one of my favorite quotes is by Jennifer Lewis, the actress, who I've had the pleasure of meeting.
Mm.
And she said, "You got to be, Jennifer Lewis, the mother of Black Hollywood.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
Jennifer Lewis.
Yeah. What? Let
Uh,
me let me see. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm correct. Wasn't that Aunt Viv's sister in Fresh Prince?
Aunt Helen,
Okay.
Aunt Helen. Oh
Okay.
yeah, come on now.
I just want to make sure. I pride myself on knowing actors and actresses, especially black ones as a black man. Like I
Come
gotta
on,
know.
man.
Like I'm a movie head, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, no, she's incredible, and she's a big advocate. Well, she's bipolar, but one of the things she said, and I want to get your thoughts around this. You got to be happy on your way to happy,
Mm.
right? You got to be happy on your way to happy. Come out of those dark rooms. Come on out the dark. You got to do the work. Um, that was the quote that I said, or that she said that made me laugh. Um, she said, "You got to do the work." I don't know what to tell you. Swim, bitch.
Yeah, now
And
she's
she
good.
said it just like that.
I
And
seen
it
it.
had me cracking up. But you gotta be happy on your way to happy. When I say that, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, nah, like damn, let me sit back and think about that. You got to be happy on your way to happy. I mean, I feel like you got to live it, man. It makes me, I can relate it to like confidence. Like
Ah,
gotta
uh,
you gotta be able to live it. Like if that's where you really see yourself, you got to be able to live it. Just like an athlete, who makes it to the next level, they believe in themselves. They don't go to the gym and be like, man, I can't shoot good or I'm not good with my layups. Like, nah, I'm gonna make every shot I take when I get in this game. Like,
yeah.
so I feel like by you saying that, like you gotta believe in it. Like you have to believe in that.
Yeah, man. I wanted to ask you, what are some of the challenges that you see with our youth now? I mean, social media is one example, but what are you seeing as you're talking to them, as you're collaborating with them or counseling them? What's some of the challenges?
So as counseling them, I mean, the most challenges I say I've ever really faced with counseling them, whether it's, workshops or group counseling or individual counseling, is just not expressing themselves in the moment.
Okay,
But I don't really think that's a challenge that I don't necessarily think it's a challenge that necessarily falls on, youth today. I just think children in general, just maybe not be comfortable enough or
true.
they don't know what to say. Sometimes they don't know what to say. They don't know what
Yeah,
they're supposed to say. So
yeah,
those are like the only challenges I really face, or somebody might be shy. Let's say it's a group. They might be shy or something. But I will say for kids that do start talking and do open up, like they're right where they need to be. They just need the support. Um, and who they are when they do talk and open up to me one on one might not be who they are, when they're in school or when they're in the community with their friends, which is normal kid behavior, right? So like I mean, to me, it's satisfying knowing that you know who you are. You know what you're supposed to do. You know what your supports. You know who your support system is. You know what
yeah,
your strengths are. You know where your barriers are. Um,
yeah,
they're sometimes they're just not ready to be that person that society thinks they should be, or sometimes they know that they should be.
yeah. when we talk, what were some of the challenges and that you faced, just even just when you were just going to school and just trying to get all this together and build your life? Like, what were some of the hurdles that you had to overcome, if you don't mind sharing?
No, not a problem. I just want to say it lagged a little bit, but you just say it. What are some of the challenges that I faced growing up?
Like growing up and in the process of going to college and building Mark Jenkins, who you are. What were
Okay,
some of those?
so
Yeah,
I'll start with growing up. So growing up, I came from a good household, um, in a struggling environment. You know what I mean? So like I came from a good home. I had a mother, I had a father. I also grew up with a stepfather, but he's been there since I was 4 years old. So they did what they had to do. They worked, had a nice house, they had nice cars.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
my environment was my environment. So sooner or later, once sports became not even sports, I'll say it was school because I was somebody who was always capable, but I wouldn't do what I needed to do in school because it was just better to socialize and walk around the hallways and. So my grades started to slip. When my grades start to slip, I don't have the grades, I don't have the GPA to play sports. Once I wasn't using that extra time to play sports, I found myself doing other things, right? Environmental things, right? Um, so that's what kind of pulled me away at one point, getting in legal trouble, going to jail, getting arrested, things like that were some of the challenges. But again, I'm somebody who was fortunate enough to have the support and have the family where charges didn't stick, as much as they would have for other people. And,
Got you, got you.
just again being fortunate enough, um, where somebody else, it's a case with that lady Sandra Farrak or something, um, worked at UMass. She was a chemist, but she got caught doing the drugs. So anybody whose case fell under, that time where she was a chemist at the UMass lab,
Yeah,
that was expunged. So I'm fortunate enough to be somebody that be one of those people, right? Like I wouldn't have had the same opportunities I have right now if things like that didn't happen.
got
For
you,
that's
got
not
you.
even too long ago where this just kind of got wiped off for me.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
So those are some of the challenges that I faced. Going to school, I'll talk about my the two college experiences I had before, the last time I went. Again, those environmental factors. Like I'm getting phone calls while I'm in class, and I'm like, my phone's ringing for something that interests me, so I'm out of here, or I'm not gonna go to class for the rest of the day. Um, Trying to go to school, and again, failing off until that last time I went to school when I said, you know what, I'm gonna ride this out. And I started small, right? I feel like I was trying to bite off too much when I was younger, like having
mm,
12 credit semesters. That was too much for me. So when I went back that last time, I literally was just doing 3 credits, just one course. I would
yeah.
do one course semester. I would do one course in the spring semester, one course, one summer semester. Then there was a second summer semester, one course. And then by the fall, I was like, I got my groove. I'm going. Now let me pick up the pace. And I didn't stop until I got to where I'm.
Wow, man.
But
Wow,
just
well,
yeah, like for me, I would just say a lot of environmental factors. Again, another thing I'll say is I'm somebody who's fortunate to not have experienced, severe mental health issues. Like, never had a clinical diagnosis.
yeah,
But my environment really pulled me in certain directions.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome to hear that you had a great support system, and it sounds like you have great parents, and we all know the benefits of having like a hands-on mom and dad. I feel fortunate I can relate to that too with you, bro. Like, my parents are still together, and they I'm sure I put them through a lot. But they are such an incredible support system. And the support doesn't stop the older you get, a parent will always be a parent no matter
Yeah.
what. God bless them. Uh, what are so let me ask you this. What do you see for I mean, I know you're getting married soon, and I'm not speaking like immediate future, but you have neighborhoodguidance.com, you have your career going on. Do you see this expanding? Where do you see it going? Like,
Oh
where do you
yeah,
see
absolutely.
yourself going?
So
4 or 5 years, what's the goal?
Yeah, so the goal is within 4 or 5 years for sure to have a physical location. So I am providing services via telehealth right now, but I'm still up to meet people in the community and quiet low spaces or somebody feels comfortable me going to their home if I'm comfortable going to their home as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, just being real.
yeah.
Yeah, so I
Mark, you look like you can defend yourself, but the killer
yeah,
is out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
The
And
killer
you
is
know
out
what?
there.
It's not even that side of it. It's like, I like to be in clean places. So, like if you want therapy in your house, make sure you good. Like, because if I'm standing up the whole time, it's gonna be my last time here. I'm telling you right now. So yeah, but yeah, I want to have a physical location. And I don't see 4 or 5 years. I see that more closer to a year to 2 years
Beautiful. Yeah,
max.
yeah, yeah.
Simply because it all depends on what my caseload is looking like soon. Like again, just starting a private practice, not having many people on my caseload yet. Once that starts to grow, like let's say it blows up in the summertime, then I can see myself moving into a physical location soon enough. But I'm very particular on where I want to be too, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
aesthetics matter. Like I want you to walk in there and be like, yeah, I'm comfortable here. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I want it to be somewhere that I can see myself for a while before I transition into something bigger. So my overall goal is because, there's a mental health component, there's a sports component, and then again, there's the whole preventative component as well, where
Right.
I still, stay close to social emotional learning. I still do my nurture and father groups. There's so many different communities and
Yeah.
populations that I feel like I'm good with. I'm a good fit. You know what I mean?
Right,
I
right.
would want like a big location that has like I would want a location that's like a sports complex, but still has like that community center feel to it as well. So
Got you. Got
you'll
you.
have your office space, you'll have your conference space. I want it to be like a one-stop shop. If you're somebody who plays indoor football, you can play your games there. You can play basketball there. You can work out there. You know, you can go to social emotional classes. You can see your therapist there. I would love for just a health and wellness center. That's what I would want it to.
Yeah.
I would want neighborhood guidance to turn into.
Do you get a lot of support from like within the community, like with community leaders or what have you?
Um, I would say yeah, in a way. I would say
Yeah.
yeah. I would say yeah. Over the past couple of years, I would definitely say there's some community leaders in the community, and I'll shout them out. I'll say Justin Hurst, supportive. Adam Gomez,
Respect. Respect. Yeah.
um, Tracy Whitfield. So there's definitely some
Yeah.
people out there that see what I'm doing. Are supportive to it. Oh yeah, can't forget LeVar as well.
Okay.
Um, so
Okay.
yeah, yeah, definitely some people out there in the community who see what I'm doing. They support what I'm doing. And just continuing to build.
This country, Mark, this country seems every time you turn on, actually, before I even get into that rabbit hole, you 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 teach skills, you counsel and all that, but what do you do yourself for self-care, right? Because you're a human being too. So I know I'm sure you probably get a lot of healing and love from your wife, your future wife, and your family. So, but when Mark needs self-care, what does Mark do?
Mark is selfish. I don't play around. So I go to the gym every morning. Like I go to the gym every morning. Um, I work, of course, I work out. So right now, what I'm doing is and I say what I'm doing now because it's only been for the past few months. People see me doing it, and they've been in the gym with me for years, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't know how you do it." I'm like, "Y'all act like I've been doing this forever. Y'all be in here with me." But I read, so I got the book right here that I'm reading right now. Um,
Come on now.
I'm reading this right now.
How
Um,
champions think. Okay. How
yes.
champions
So
think.
I'm reading that right now, and I do that like while I'm on the stairmaster or the treadmill. So like I gotta knock out at least a chapter. So like killing two birds with one stone. I'm getting my cardio in, and I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? I'm
And then
building
two
up. You know what I'm saying? I'm physically and I'm mentally training. So right. But then of course I work out the sauna. Like those are just things I need. Like I wake up no matter how I'm feeling. If I don't go to the gym, if I didn't go to the gym today, I would feel like my day isn't gonna be complete ever until I get some kind of workout in. And I got a
gotcha.
bit downstairs in my basement, but it's not enough. I need to sweat. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I would just feel not complete. Like I have to start my day with going to the gym. Um, and then at times, I will find different things for myself to do, mainly with my lady. Like we'll go on like a little weekend trip or we'll do something. We'll make sure the kids get watched, that, either her parents or my parents or, because it's a lot of them. So sometimes you got to split them up or, push some in this direction, some in that direction. So we can get our monthly time to go do it, go on a little weekend trip or, just do something where we spend the time with one another too. Because I
Yeah.
feel like that's extremely important. Going back to healthy relationships, because
Uh,
these can be stressful, man. They can listen.
well, speak on that, the importance of keeping that fire, but also
Oh
that
yeah,
connection with your partner. Because if mommy and daddy aren't okay, the household
oh
isn't
yeah,
okay.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, so yeah, we make sure we do that. We make sure we dress up nice. We smell good. She get her hair
Yeah,
cut.
yeah.
I'm getting my hair cut. I'm going, and we go out, right? Like when we step out, we want people to look at us like, yeah, they look good. Like so, we don't. It's just not, hey, let's go do this and look bummy while we doing it. Like nah, let's 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 look how we would want to look if we were to first meet each other again. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Absolutely,
wow. Wow. That's
absolutely.
important. Something you said earlier, was like, when in regards to your children, you said when you leave this house, people are gonna know you because of me or whatnot. But it's like, isn't it important, right? It's the idea of you too, doesn't matter your age in this group or who you are in this family, you represent the family.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Still, whether mom and dad are there, you still represent the family.
Yeah.
Are your kids big? Do your kids take on that idea? Are they
They
big on
they're
that?
understand because two of them are teenagers, so it's that's more so. And I'm teaching, like I've been having conversations with my 6-year-old a lot about it, like recently because he just finished his first wrestling season,
Yeah,
and I was talking about work ethic and things like that with him. But yeah, the two older ones, like the oldest one, 14-year-old, I think he understands it more now as he's transitioning into high school,
yeah,
and he sees that people, and this is my stepson, but people talk to him when it comes to football or just even in the community and like they may know him because of me. So he understands that. Like it's something that I told him since they were younger, but as he gets older and he's outside, he's more independent now. He sees it like I'm gonna, and I always tell him, I'm gonna introduce you to the right people. I'm gonna put you in the right position, but you got to do the rest. You got to do the rest. And he's learning that and he understands it. And as him being the oldest one in the house, he's the leader
okay,
of the kids. He's the leader of the
yeah,
kids. So his role is extremely important because if he
yeah,
the tracks, it'd be easier for them to follow and do the same. As he
got you.
stays on the straight and narrow, it's going to be easier. So, we got to put a lot into making sure he's modeling what needs to be modeled for everybody else because
Hey,
there's
that
one right behind him at 13,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Lead by example. We said it earlier.
He's
Wow,
doing
that's
a
a
great
beautiful
job.
thing, though.
He's doing a great job at it. Yes, thank
That's
you.
awesome, man. That's awesome. I wanted to every day we go on this or we turn on the TV. There's something else going on in this country, especially with this current administration, and then it's not to. This is not to shit on them or whatnot. I don't care about that. Because in my opinion, and this is not going to be a political conversation, I promise you. But in my opinion, both sides have
He's
let us
good.
down. Um, but how are you doing navigating all that? Because everything that's going around, the attempt to dismantle education, I mean, we can go down a rabbit hole of list of things that have happened in the last 45 days. How are you handling that, man? Just
So
do
I'm
you
I'm
block it? Do you what do you
I
do?
don't I don't block it. I try to learn more about it. I'm somebody who can actually say, like, I don't be knowing what's going on until it's going on. And if it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't know what's going on. Um, so I see it and then like I'll go to knowledgeable people or educated people in those areas um to read what they're saying. Like the whole DEI thing was going on.
Yeah,
And though I on the surface level I understand what it is, but like on the deeper level, I don't know what it is. So I will go to specific people's pages to read about what's going on, see what they have to say about it, just to educate myself more on it. Then it makes me go, oh wow, you know what I mean? Like now I see with the Department of Education, I'll go to similar people's pages just to see what they're saying about it and learn about it. And it's unfortunate, being excuse me, being a father of a child who does have an IEP, like to see that that might be taken away. Now I understand, each state kind of would be able to operate on their own on how they want. And we're extremely fortunate and blessed to be in Massachusetts. So I really feel like even though some of this stuff happens, like I know what state I'm in, so I kind of know what's gonna affect us and what's not. Like it's still gonna
Right,
affect some way, but like
right,
I know how Massachusetts is gonna hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna do what they
right.
need. Um, but it sucks to think about, other states, especially
Yeah,
southern states that are
yeah,
gonna suffer like even
yeah.
more. Um,
Yeah.
so
And we know we have a big migrant crisis in this country, right? I work with a lot of migrant families in my own work here. And one of the things I mentioned last night when we were recording is that I feel bad for a lot of these people because a lot of these people are coming here with good intentions. They want to be citizens. But what I'm seeing too is just like, they'll get with an agency or what have you. They'll start off right. They'll find them housing, but then it's like, all right, now you're on your own. Good luck. Well, some of these people don't even speak English. Some of these
right,
people,
right.
where are they going to get a job from? How are they going to pay the rent? And it's just crazy. So now I don't know. I just feel like there's so much. That's just one little example. I say all this to say for me, I'm exhausted already. I'm
Yeah,
exhausted, but I feel like if we don't stay in tune, because you miss a day, you miss a lot, Mark. You miss a
yeah,
day,
yeah,
you miss a lot. We got to stay on top of things. We got to know. There's a lot of great leaders out there, like Jasmine Crockett, who I love. God bless her. And I'm sorry, this is going down a political rant, but it just concerns. It's just very concerning to be an American at this time. Would you agree or
yeah.
disagree?
Definitely, definitely, man. Because one thing I will say, and again, I'm not the biggest on politics, so I can't speak too much on it.
Right, right. But yeah, no. Yeah.
But one thing I did notice is and it was a different book that I was reading that made me feel like this. Like it was the last book that I literally just read, and he said something in there, pretty much like if you're not anti-racist, right? Speaking of people who aren't, not even necessarily, this falls for everybody. If you're not anti-racist policies, then you're racist policies, right? So there's a
Mm,
lot of policies that are put in place that are meant to keep certain demographics of people down. Like, and people act like they forget how the country was built, right? So there are certain things in place, and it's like I know there's people like, oh yeah, but they're doing this and they're doing that for this community and that for that community. Yeah, you had to because the way it started, if they kept it the same, then we still be slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Mona.
So so yeah, you have to put certain policies in order to protect certain people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'm noticing I remember when he first won, and then he was already tripping in January. Um, Trump was already tripping in January. So I remember saying something, and I'm genuinely asking. I'm like, "Yo, I seen a lot of y'all Trump supporters on here. I really want to know how do y'all feel about what he's doing now?" Genuinely asking. I get crickets, nothing. But then he does something else, and then they start responding on things. It's like
Yeah.
they pick and choose what they want to respond to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And when I say what I say, like the country was built off of racism. I hate when people say they don't see color.
Uh,
I
Dumbest
hate
statement ever. Yeah. Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
when people say, "Oh, why does everything have to be about race?" Because everything's about race, right? People think that they're not racist just because they don't call you the N-word or because they'll invite you to their house or they'll hang out with you or they'll dap you up, right? Or they teach kids. Yeah, you teach kids in Springfield Public Schools, it's the highest paying district in the area, so that's why. But
Yeah.
racism is systemic. It's
Yes.
systemic. It's systemic.
Yes.
So
Say
if
it.
you're in line with the policies that are keeping certain people down, to me, you're racist.
Say it,
If
Mark.
you can't see that, yo, if you can't see that,
Say it.
there's certain policies are keep this meant to keep people down, then you're racist, yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's pretty much that's as far as I go there. I felt like I sound a little educated in that area, so I'm gonna leave it there.
No, no, no. It's all good. I just wanted to get your emotional reaction. And
Yeah,
I mean, listen, damn it, man. It's a systemic thing, man. This is what this country was built on. Hey, let's move on to more frivolous topics. Um, I want to ask you this,
yep.
and I love this. Oh, I'm sorry. So going back to coaching before we get to frivolous
Yep.
topics, coaching football, right?
Yep.
Basketball. Am I missing anything else?
That I played growing up.
And that you coach as well.
Oh no, so I don't coach basketball. I just coach football. I stay in my lane.
Football.
Oh yeah, I
Okay,
stay in
okay,
my lane. I stay in my
okay,
lane. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay, okay. And you're coaching middle school, high schoolers as well?
So I've coached high school in the past. I coach youth football, so I go like the way we do
Ah,
at our program, like we'll start with a group and we'll go with them. So I've coached
gotcha.
kids all the way from 7 to 14 years old in youth. So right now, like this upcoming youth season, I'll be coaching 7 and 8 year olds this upcoming youth season.
Okay, okay, okay. That's got to be a certain sense of fulfillment, right? Like those aha moments, right? You,
Absolutely.
because honestly, dude, you're a community leader yourself. If you think you really are. So
I feel that way too, man. I feel that way too.
good, man. Good, man. When you were growing up, you had a wonderful support system, mom and dad. Was there one key person that was like your role model, that was just like your go-to inspiration? Was there one person that had like a profound effect on you growing up?
Will we say adults or are we talking about kids?
Well, when you were growing up, I guess it could be whoever. I don't want to limit that.
Yeah, so I mean, my cousin Marcus, he had a very influential, and he's only a few years older than me.
Okay.
Like my desire to like do certain things, play certain sports, maybe certain fashion, kind of came from him. I ain't gonna say he had all the positive influences. It wasn't all positive influences, not at all, not at all. But I honestly, I'll be real with you. I can't. Not just saying, I can't really think of too many adults.
Mm,
Too many adults, right? I could look back. I could look back and be like, oh, I wanted to be as good as a football player as that guy when I would, when I would jump the fence after football practice and go watch Central play. I shout out some of those guys like Shaquille Williams. I used to watch Shaquille play when I was young at Central.
got
Oh,
you.
nice,
Got
right?
you.
Um, so Don Jones, just certain names, Winston McGregor. I used to, certain guys I would see play football growing up,
Yeah.
but nobody that I can say like, oh, I have a personal relationship with them. Um, that's older than me. That
Yeah.
I could think of. Yeah.
Who's your football team out of curiosity?
Oh, you don't you don't
NFL.
you
I
don't see
can't
that?
see that. I have glasses on. No, no, no. But
Oh,
like from.
that's the Eagles, man. Super Bowl champs, baby.
Oh, okay, okay.
The most, yeah, 50
Oh,
Super Bowl 59 champions, Philadelphia Eagles.
that was an incredible game, bro.
And
From
just in case
beginning to
people got
end.
a question, I got a Super Bowl 52 tattoo.
Oh, wait a
That's
minute. Let me
52.
get a new prescription on the
Yeah.
glasses.
That's Super Bowl 52. So I'm gonna get that 59 one tatted on me too. Yeah. Go Birds.
Shout out to the Eagles. That was an incredible game from beginning to end, man.
Yes,
That
sir.
was that was one hell of a game. Yeah, man. I used to be all about the Patriots, but we saw what happened with that. Uh, I definitely had my eye out on the season on Baltimore, and Buffalo was looking a little good there for a while and what have you. Just didn't want the Chiefs to win, man. I mean, they're a great team. It's not because they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Those boys play. Those men play pretty damn
Listen.
good.
Yeah, we the get back team. So like you say, you talked about the Patriots. Patriots beat us in the Super Bowl, the 04-05 season, you know, 2017-18 season. We get them. Chiefs beat us. What was that?
Yep.
Was that 22-23? Yeah, 22-23 season. And then we just
Yep.
got to get back. So yeah, that's how we get our Super Bowls. We get that get back. Hopefully the next time.
I hate when the season's over, Mark, because it's like, what do I watch on Monday and Thursday and on Sunday? I hate
Sunday.
it.
I know. I know. I know. Trust me.
Yeah. So let's dive into less serious things real quick. Music wise, man, what's on your playlist, Mark? Actually, Mark, who's your Mount Rushmore of hip hop? Four
Ah,
people.
see, I know. Listen, and
And
it's okay.
you know it always changes.
It's okay to ask me this, right? I'm going to answer this, but we're gonna pivot and we're gonna go R&B because I'm an R&B guy. I'll go hip hop for you. I'm a,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a R&B. I'll go hip hop for you, and I'll go my Mount Rushmore. I have
Speak
no
on it.
problem with doing this because my Mount Rushmore is DMX, Kendrick Lamar. So now this is where it gets tough. right? Because now I'm feeling like the viewers who gonna watch are about to judge me. But let me really think.
Here we go.
Mount Rushmore. I said X. I said K Dot.
Yeah.
I'm not cliche. You're not gonna hear me say none of these cliche names.
I was gonna say, please don't say Hove and Nas
I'm not
and
saying Biggie, Nas, Hov. I'm not like I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
listen
yeah,
to
yeah.
them like that. I really don't. Um. Ah. I will go. I will go. I will go. Siegel, Beanie Siegel. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Because I mean, this is like that's the music that did it for me. There's somebody I'm thinking of saying, but I don't think I can put him in there just because. But I might because he's like an artist I listen to more of. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go push a T.
Pusha
That's
T.
that's. I mean,
Yeah, no, I
that's
see that.
yeah. That's who I listen
Yeah,
to. Like you know what I mean.
yeah.
Like if I listen to rap, there's other rappers I listen to, but I wouldn't put them in there. But I don't listen to rap that much. Like I really
Got
don't.
you, got you. So
Yeah.
R&B side, Mount
Nah.
Rushmore.
See, I would have to
Damn
have
it, R. Kelly, you
I
ruined
have
it
to
for
have a
everybody.
male
Damn
version
it.
and a female version. I would have to have a male and a female version because you go R&B. I'm gonna say his name. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say I don't care how people feel. I do care how they feel, but I care how I feel too. So R. Kelly is number one.
You
Um,
can't deny it,
you
bro.
can't. I'm sorry.
You can't. I mean, in this case, it's okay to separate the art and the artist,
Yeah.
I think.
And I'm gonna put this on record and say this because I've said this to people. I've said it on Facebook statuses and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, R. Kelly for the music he makes and because what he writes, because the music he makes though, I will put him above somebody. But because of the way this next person I'm about to say, their pen game is still active and crazy. Babyface, like he's there. Like Babyface pen is crazy. He's still going crazy till this day.
Grammy award-winning producer
Listen,
Whitney,
I seen that
Mariah,
clip.
Madonna.
I seen that clip where them little girls disrespected baby.
Oh, you
Yo,
saw that, right?
I wanted to listen. I don't touch people, but man, I wanted to jump to the TV and just talk to them very firmly. Like, you don't disrespect a face like that. Like, what is wrong with you, yo? Like, that's
Ro-
for who? For who did they say? For who? For who?
Caparone.
Who?
Caparone. Oh, oh,
Who?
it's shade. Oh,
Who? Like, I really don't know who that is. Like, who are you? Who? Like, are you serious? Babyface? Like, come on. Yeah,
they would
that
have had a legendary conversation with Babyface. Damn it, Babyface.
rubbed me the wrong.
So that's two. We got two more.
Kelly Babyface. All right. All
Kells,
right.
Babyface. You
All
probably
right.
wasn't expecting questions like these, but this is what
I
Los is
wasn't.
Down is
This
all
is
about.
good. This is good though, because this is me. Um, and none of this is no reflection of who like I listen to a lot now, like newer artists, because I do listen to newer artists. But okay, we got R. Kelly, we got Babyface. This is me. This is me. This is me. I'm not gonna do two different lists. So I'm gonna put the Queen in there, Mary J. I gotta
Mm.
put J in there. Put the Queen in there. Now this last spot. And I'm telling you right now, when we part ways, I'm gonna be like, oh dang, I could have said my list change every day. They change every day. They
I'm
literally
gonna get a
change.
text later.
They change every day. They change all the
Yeah,
time.
that's how it's supposed to be. That's the name of the game. You can't
So
go wrong with Mary.
I
So
got R. No, absolutely. You can't go no wrong with none of these. I got R. I got Babyface. I got Mary. Ah, these people they like. It's like when they were making music, they were those guys like, but they weren't long enough. Like they didn't have the R. Kelly career, they didn't have a Babyface career, they didn't have a Mary J career
got you.
that I'm thinking of, and this is why it's taking me so long. So I'm trying to think of somebody who I do listen to equally, and they got careers like that. I'm leaving it open for now. I can't.
Well, wait,
My
who are you gonna say? Who were those guys?
because
Who are you gonna say? Like Boys to
They
Men?
don't have the catalog. See, even Boys to Men, when Boys to Men, they were impactful, but their catalog wasn't like that. Like, boy, you can't go
Yeah.
back and be like this album, this album, that. Like, you can't. So I was thinking like a Casey or Cisco and dudes like that, because those are dudes like I listen to. And at that point in time, Like, and I still listen to him, of course, but like just like the longevity, the catalog. You know who I was
Got you.
throwing there just to even it out, even though she just did what she did. But even a lot of her stuff I
Oh,
don't listen to, but like Beyonce.
oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't put her on that list,
I'm
but
not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm saying I would.
but
That's somebody else. Just because of the catalog, the longevity. I wouldn't.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah,
I wouldn't though,
yeah.
because what the people whose music, the people that I just named, those artists, what their music do is a little different than what her music. You know what I'm saying? What her music do. Yeah.
Right. See, I
But
think
yeah,
right now for hip hop, I mean, I know we said we weren't going to mention the obvious ones, but it's hard not to mention Nas because in the last 4 years, Nas put out about 4 to 5 albums in a row back to back,
yeah,
and each one got better and better. So, like for example, I'm addicted to I'm not addicted, but I'm obsessed with listening still with King's Disease 3. I love that album from beginning to end. It's
yeah,
just him and Hit Boy on it. It's just classic Nas. There's no features, and he is just spitting
yeah,
and spitting. It's crazy. It's just crazy. So it would have to he would be up there. I'm not Busta Rhymes. Busta
yeah.
Rhymes.
Okay, that's dope.
Busta Rhymes, man, all the way. I mean, come on, man. What are we saying? Leaders of the new school, all the way till now. I'm gonna throw Missy Elliott in there.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
gonna throw, and not because lyrical. I mean, I don't think she's lyrically the best, but I mean, Missy, man, has just man,
The influence on the culture. Yeah,
the influence is ridiculous. And I used to always put Common in there. I love Common. His memoir, One Day It'll All Make Sense, is worth reading. You should check it out if you haven't. It's a memoir that him and his mother wrote, and you can tell who's speaking when. So, like when it's him telling his story, it's normal font. When it's his mom telling the story, it's italicized and it looks, you can tell who's speaking.
yeah,
And I thought
yeah.
that was incredible. So I have a big adoration for Common, but Q-Tip,
Oh yeah.
Tribe Called Quest, all day,
Okay.
all
See, like
day.
these are like I didn't like I know who they are, of course, but if it wasn't commercial, if it wasn't on the radio, if it wasn't a video back in the day, I wasn't like I'm not like I
Go
don't
go
really.
listen to if you get a chance, whenever you have some downtime, check out Q-Tip The Renaissance. This came out in 2008, and at the 2009 Grammys, he lost for Best Hip Hop Album to Drake. Drake had just came out, which blew my mind because The Renaissance,
Yeah,
perfection. Well, check that album out. It's really it won't let you down, I promise you.
you know what?
Perfect, perfect album to drive around when you just fresh out the barber shop and you got the
You
windows down. Perfect. Perfect.
know what just popped in my head? I got my fourth person Mount Rushmore.
Here we go.
It's Ron Isley.
Ooh,
Yeah, because like
surprised you
yeah,
didn't say that at first too, because if you
I'm
said
surprised.
Pels,
I'm surprised I didn't say that at first.
like they go hand in
But I
hand.
told you I'm happy we
Yeah.
talked because I told you I'm telling like sometimes it'd be a little sludge up there, man. It'd be my
Look,
wheel would be turning.
we could have this conversation next week and all those names will change. That's how it always
Oh
is.
yeah, oh,
It's whatever.
absolutely, absolutely. Because I
Uh,
like the thing is I respect other artists. Like I know people's gonna look at me and be like, "Oh, you didn't say Luther, you didn't say this," but that's not who I listen to. Like
right.
I literally could put on some Isley Brothers now. Like I can listen to Ron Isley now, and it's mainly because of what R. Kelly did by pulling him back in the early 2000s, late 90s, so the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how
Yep.
you pay homage. Like, listen,
That's how you
I
pay
grew up
homage.
listening to you. Everybody should know you here. We putting you on this. And
Yep.
that's what got me to like listen to older stuff. Like
Yeah.
me,
Yeah. I love Sly and the Family Stone. I'm a big Sly and the Family Stone fan, man. They've got a great body of work, brother. Great body of work. One thing that we do here at Los's Lounge, we play by the way, you mentioned Cisco and last it's just weird you're mentioning certain things that we talked about last night. We were talking about his Unleash the Dragon album.
oh yeah, fire,
That album was
fire.
crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. Just
Crazy.
don't got the catalog. But that fire.
No skips on that album, I don't think.
Yeah,
Uh
no.
Jill Scott. The
Okay.
incomparable Jill Scott. I'm a big Alicia Keys fan.
Okay.
Heavy on Alicia Keys. All right, let's move on from that. So we've covered Please don't forget to check out his page, especially if you're in the Western Mass area. If you're not in the Western Mass area, there are going to be people, hopefully, as wonderful as Mark in your area, where you can go and talk to, where you can get counseling or go for social emotional learning or whatever you need. I'm sure. But if you're in the Western Mass area, please check out neighborhoodguidance.com. Real quick before I forget, are there any social media that you want to is there an
Yes,
Instagram
yes,
for me?
yes, yes. So I will say this too, because my license is statewide, and I am doing telehealth. If you are on the other side of Mass, you can reach out to me too. And I
Perfect.
will be licensed in Connecticut as well. So if you got Connecticut viewers, um, so yeah, as long as
I do.
yeah, absolutely. So yes, so I'll be creating, because I told you what happened with my Facebook. So I'll be creating a new Facebook page. It'll just be called Neighborhood Guidance. And in the sports section, my sports side of things is NG Sports, which Neighborhood Guidance Sports, but NG Sports.
NG
But I
Sports.
am on Instagram. Like I'm still active on Instagram. I'm still active on I got LinkedIn's and things like that. So I just want to make sure, because how sometimes a name be taken, so you got to use like an underscore. So
Yeah,
I'm literally looking just to make sure. So my Instagram, my IG for neighborhood guidance is just neighborhood guidance, one word, just all together. No
got you.
underscore, no nothing, just neighborhood guidance. And my NG Sports is the one with the underscore. So it's underscore NG underscore sports.
Found you already. Look at you right
Yep.
there.
Yep. And
Awesome.
I post videos every day on my neighborhood guidance. Like if you
Awesome. So,
literally see me every day talking.
I want to repeat what he said for Massachusetts residents who might not be in Western Mass. He does telecounseling as well, telehealth counseling as well too. So you can feel free to reach out to him. Check out the website, and definitely reach out to Mark. The importance, Mark, finish the sentence. Communication, no. Let me start that again. Therapy or counseling is important because,
It helps you process information, learn about yourself more, and address, you know, past experiences.
yeah, yeah. Um, I want you guys to check out the Instagram. We are going to play the one word association game, and we're going to close down the episode in a few minutes. This is something that I always play on every episode from season one all the way. We didn't play it last night, though. Damn it, man. I dropped the ball somewhere. I also didn't think last night's episode was going to be over 2 hours, but God bless my co-hosts. A big shout out to Renzo, Harry, and Jasmine, my official co-host at the lounge. One word association game. Easy. I'll say a word. I'm going to throw out 4 words. You tell me the first word that comes back to your mind. Easy enough?
So you're
Let's
gonna throw
go.
out a word.
I'm going to throw out a word, and the
Yep.
first word that comes to your mind is what is your answer.
All right.
All right. Community. Sorry.
Support.
Say that again.
Support.
Support. Oh, good. Man, that was quick. Um, freedom,
Liberty.
art.
Music.
Ooh, spring,
Say that again.
spring, spring. The
Football.
season.
Football.
Hey,
Get outside. Time to get outside.
man, I got spring fever like it's nobody's business, man. We started out this week earlier with 60 degrees. You
Right.
know us Puerto Ricans, man. We get a little bit of warmth.
Oh
You
yeah.
give us an inch and we want to take a whole mile.
Oh yeah. I seen shorts. I felt the street shaking. I know. I was in Holyoke last week too. Oh yep. He was outside drinking. I'm like, yeah, I already know,
It's
man.
real, man. It's all of us. I think we're
Hey,
just
it's
tired
culture.
of being home.
It's culture, man. I love it.
It is what it is. All right. Listen, before we conclude, I gotta say thank you. Thank you again for following back up with me. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for the work you do in our community. You are a community leader. Again, a lot of my colleagues like Melissa, Tyree, They spoke so highly of you. I've seen it. I mean, I've witnessed it. I've seen him talk to the kids and do these classes with them through Square One and what have you. I've seen the conversations. I've seen the passion that he puts into it. And even though it was just like a day or two, whatnot, you how do I put this? You made an impact. I'll say that you made an impact. And I'm a grown ass man, and that's a lot of the stuff you were talking. I was like, damn, where were you when a brother needed you? Like I have questions, right? Because again, no one really, unless you have parents to model what a healthy relationship looks like, we get into relationships or and it doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship like you mentioned. It could be a friendship, it could be a work relationship, but we create relationships, and when the shit hits the fan, either we don't know how to resolve or we just carry on behaviors. For example, man, I was engaged at one point, but what I noticed in that relationship was a lot of my mom's moodiness,
Mm,
like when I was growing up. And mom, I know you're gonna watch these episodes, but I gotta call it like I see it. A lot of the ways my mom, my dad, I'm not gonna put that on my mom, handled their relationships or the way they spoke to each other when one was frustrated, or that actually passed off on me, man. I remember there were times where I just got, and my mom's an alpha and so is my father, but I remember just like hearing myself afterwards and being like, damn, that's mommy talking. Wait a
mm.
minute, this isn't, and maybe this isn't serving me in the right thing. And it's not to, mom, I know you're gonna watch this and you're probably gonna have questions for me later. It's not to say what you were doing was wrong. You only knew how to do what you knew how to do, because maybe someone didn't model what a healthy relationship looked like for her or my dad. So it becomes a habit, or like and we want to be the ones to break those chains and habits. So I think the work you're doing, no, let me rephrase that. I know the work you're doing is super important and super needed, especially planting the seeds in the youth, planting those seeds now, and then watching those seeds grow, right? Watching people take those tools and really apply them out in the real world. So this, I really wanted to throw you your roses, and just to say thank you. Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
what you're doing, and keep going, because it inspires me. And if it inspires me, I'm sure it's going to inspire somebody else, man. Um, neighborhoodguidance.com is the website. Mark Jenkins is the man of the hour. Do you have any closing remarks or thoughts that you want to share with us before we go?
Yeah, man. I wanna I want to kind of backtrack a little bit, circle back to what you said, and I appreciate
Please
you,
do.
pointing
Please
that
do.
out, saying, I'm a community leader. Sometimes I think, we might forget that, we might be a little too modest, but I know I do have a huge impact in my community. So I know I shouted out some names earlier, but I want to drop some more names because you said one. I definitely got to shout out to Melissa, because she looks out whenever she can. She plugs me in with Square One to do work with Square One, and that's how we met. And then some other coaches that, throughout the years I've met and built strong relationships with, who are community leaders. My man Justin Cotton, somebody I grew up with, Eric Newkirk, who's doing his thing with basketball, Wayne Barber,
Word,
Bill
word.
Watson, my man Eugene Miller, my man Ivan Rosario. So like when you said it, I'm dropping names, I'm dropping people in political positions, but not necessarily thinking about, you know, us other people who also put in the work in our community leaders. So I want to shout out them. So if y'all did, you know what I'm saying? If y'all seen that, we're gonna clip this up and we're gonna piece this. I'll do it on my own, just so y'all don't think I left y'all out, because and that's just like an oversight from me. But
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. And Mark, I think you have great energy, and congratulations. You have a wedding coming up in Costa Rica. Be
Yeah.
safe. God bless you, your lady, and your kids. I would love to have you back on as season 4 progresses. I'm sure we can find more things around this umbrella to chop it up about. And the door is always open, man. So know that I'm gonna upload this on the YouTube probably this weekend, and I'll probably kick off season 4 this weekend. And start uploading all these episodes that I've already have. But you're part of the Los's Knowledge family. And thank you for trusting me in my platform. It means the world to me. I really
Man,
appreciate
thank you
it.
for having me, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Peace, King. I want you to have a great day, man. Thank you.
You too. You too, man.
All right, brother.
So.